What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Sunday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Connie. It is Sunday once again. The madness has been March. The March has been madness. The bets have been good. It was a 3-0 day yesterday here on The Squeeze. Can't complain about that, obviously. Toronto Maple Leafs, Carolina Hurricanes go over 6. They land on 8. Montreal Canadiens, we had that on the money line. They won 8-2 over Columbus. And we had TFC to win or to draw against San Jose. That finishes with a scoreless draw, 0-0. So a 3-0 day, a 3-unit day. What more do you want? What more can you complain about? Sometimes less is more. Last couple days, I haven't added any extra personal plays. I've been playing MLB The Show. I've been spending time with my family. So it's just been the 3 main bets. Man, they're coming in. Let's keep cashing those bets. Today, we're going to start in NCAA March Madness. As I said, it's been an incredible run in this tournament so far. All the number 1 seeds are down. First time none of them have made even the Elite 8. Great basketball yesterday. Great basketball should be on deck today. I know I'm decked out in all Blue Jays gear, and we've got 3 bets in 3 sports, none of which are baseball, but I am definitely ready for the opener next week. We're going to start with Creighton and San Diego State. I've got San Diego State plus 2.5 for minus 115 at BetMGM here. I'm also probably going to bet San Diego State on the money line. I think that San Diego State is going to win this basketball game. Look, since struggling from downtown early on in this tournament, Creighton has really turned it around. They've been able to shoot the deep ball well. They were 11 of 24 against Baylor, 9 of 24 against Princeton. That was following their really crummy performance against NC State. Defensively, Creighton has been pretty good as well, forcing their teams to take 2-point jumpers. But here's the deal. San Diego State is built on defense. And this tournament, in my opinion, built on defense. Yes, we've seen some upsets. UCLA, their great defense has gone down, but they've been so good on defense. San Diego State, they've shot themselves only 30% from 3, which I think might hinge. If they can shoot from the 3, they are going to win this basketball game. If they can't, it'll be tough. But they're holding their opponents to 18% from behind the arc in March Madness in this tournament. The Aztecs ranked 23rd nationally in points per game, 3rd in opponent field goal percentage, and 43rd in total rebounds. San Diego State has held their opponents to 57, 52, and 64 points, and that 64 was against Alabama, who is the absolute juggernaut on offense, right? So before that Alabama game, maybe you could say, well, they haven't been playing the greatest of offenses, but Alabama was no joke. That offense is no joke. One of the most prolific scoring teams in the country. They held them to 64 points, and now they're going to get the chance to shut down a similar offense, just with much less talent in Creighton. So I like the San Diego State University Aztecs plus 2.5 for minus 115 at BetMGM. It's not a bad bet to bet that on the money line as well. Shifting to hockey, we've got a great matchup. The marquee matchup on today's slate, we've got the Boston Bruins at the Carolina Hurricanes. Bruins 56-11-2. They clinched last night, so maybe there's some letdown there. But Carolina 47-16. They're coming off a big win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, as we know, so maybe there's some letdown there. Home records, or home and road records, Carolina 25-9 at home, Boston 26-8 on the road. Similar there. Both played last night. What's going to happen? We don't really know. Swayman expected to be in net for Boston tonight. He's 19-6-2 with a 2.19 goals against. Unsure who's in net for Carolina. I think this is just going to be a matchup of who is the better hockey team. That is the Boston Bruins. Yes, Carolina is at home. Yes, they're coming off a big win against Toronto, but that's where I think there might be some letdown. It's like, well, they probably just want to win 1 of 2 against us. If you can win 1 of 2 games against Toronto and Boston, I think you're probably happy with that. They got the one against Toronto. Maybe they'll have some letdown against Boston. Boston, meanwhile, there's not going to be any letdown, man. They're on a 6-game winning streak. Tampa, Montreal, Ottawa, Buffalo, Minnesota, Winnipeg, all have gone down at the hands of Boston. Boston is absolutely cruising. They're 40-11 in their last 51 games after allowing 2 or less goals in their previous game. And then when you look at, on days rest, Boston, 8-3-0 coming off back-to-backs, 6-5 ATS. Carolina, in their last 11 games, when they are coming off a back-to-back, 3-8 ATS. So that tells a little bit of a story there. Boston has been the better second half of a back-to-back team, and why is that? Goaltending. When you've got Ullmark and Swayman, that's what's going to help your outcome more often than not. If you're playing a little bit lazy, if you're playing a little bit slow, a little bit tired, but you've got a fresh goaltender who's got a goals against, under 2.2, then you're in good shape. So give me the Boston Bruins money line. This is only minus 108 at FanDuel. Essentially, anytime you can get the best team in the NHL, who's also one of the best teams on the road at a coin flip, I'll take it. Boston Bruins minus 108 at FanDuel. Our last bet of the day is in the NBA. We've been staying away from the NBA a little bit, just sort of dipping our toes in when I think it's right. It's tough time of the year for the NBA, but I like this spot here. I like the Memphis Grizzlies -2. You can get this for -110 also at FanDuel, and this is hinging on the return of Ja Morant, right? So Memphis coming into this 46-27. They're only 14-22 on the road, playing an Atlanta team that's 500 at 37-37, but they're 21-15 at home. Atlanta has been struggling as of late. They're coming off a 143-130 win against Indiana. Previous to that, there was a loss at Minnesota, a win against the Pistons. They lost to the Spurs. They beat the Warriors. Then they lost to the Timberwolves, lost to Boston. 500, right? They're sort of up and down a little bit. They're 1-7 ATS in their last 8 Sunday games, 1-6 ATS in their last 7 after scoring more than 125 points in their previous games, so not really rebounding very well. Then you look at Memphis. Memphis is 5-1 in the Grizzlies' last 6, and they're playing a lot of under games. They're playing defensive matchups, which I like when it comes to closer contests. You want to take the underdog. Well, I guess Memphis is the favorite, so they're not the underdog there, but recent matchups, most recently, they've only played once this season. This will be the second time and only time they play the remainder of the year. Memphis won 128-103. As I mentioned, though, Ja Morant's return. So he missed a handful of games with, as we know, the whole gun thing, whatever. But since he's come back, he's been coming off the bench, but they're fired up, and I think tonight might be the first time that he plays back in the starting lineup. They just beat Houston 151-114. They beat Houston again before that 130-125, Dallas 112-108. Morant's coming off the bench. They're saying that they just want to work him back in slowly, and Memphis has been playing really, really well without him, which is interesting because he's an all-star, one of the best players in the NBA. He's only playing 18 to 20 minutes a game. He's been playing well in that position. I think once he gets back in the starting lineup, he's going to look to make a statement. He's going to look to say, I'm back. He claims that he's in a really good place and he's doing everything that he needs to be doing to get his head in a better spot so he doesn't make the same mistakes. And I trust him, man. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to say the Memphis Grizzlies win this game on the road. -2 for -110 at FanDuel. I'll take it. So there is your Sunday card. We're up 3 units, or up over 3 units on the week after yesterday. So even if all 3 of these bets lose today, we're having a winning week. So just to run back your Sunday card, give me the San Diego State University Aztecs +2.5 for -115 at BetMGM. Give me the Boston Bruins on the money line -108 at FanDuel. And give me the Memphis Grizzlies -2, -110 at FanDuel. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Carney for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portions, and audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Have a great Sunday. End your week well. Let's talk sports.